It's Mrs. Martin, and welcome to your February book talk. There is a lot to celebrate in the month of February. It is Black History Month. It is I Love to Read Month. We are also celebrating the fact that we are bringing so many of you guys back into the building here. And so, just a lot to look forward to, I think, here this month. And of course, we are hoping to see many of you back in the library, checking out books, and maybe returning some books that you've been borrowing, and we'll hope to see your faces. So looking forward to that a whole bunch. In thinking about it being February, and I know we're kind of wrapping up the month of February, I'm also looking ahead to March. And in the month of March, we do have March Madness with basketball. Some of you are familiar with this. Maybe you watch some of the games going on with March Madness. And here at Valley, the last few years, we have done something called VMSS Reading Madness, or the March Madness of books, where we have pitted the top 16 books that have been checked out in the last year. You're looking at those titles on your screen right now. And we have all 16 of those books. We ask students, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, to vote on those books. And then throughout the whole voting process, we kind of determine, I guess we ask people to make predictions about how they think the votes are going to turn out. If you predict correctly, you have a chance at winning some prizes. And so we're going to do it again this year. The way that you do this is you fill out a bracket like this. This bracket will be made available to you electronically both on Schoology and on our library homepage. It'll be posted coming up here in March, and I'm going to share those dates with you momentarily. All you have to do is decide what books you think are going to move on in the tournament. For example, the first two books that are listed there on the top left, Allies by Alan Gratz and Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Old School by Jeff Kinney, you would have to decide between those two books, when given the choice, how are Valley Middle School students going to vote? Which book would move on? Which one is going to be more popular? And then you would place that book in the bracket here. You would decide which book is going to move on in the tournament and which one is not. And if you make those predictions correctly, again, you'd have the opportunity to win. So the directions on how to play, if you decide you want to do this, is you'd fill out one of these blank prediction brackets using the link available on the LMC homepage, on our library page, or on Schoology. These links are going to be coming out there toward the beginning of March, so you can keep your eyes open for that. It'll be in the announcements, and of course I'll place it out on Schoology as well. You would want to submit your bracket by Monday, March 15th, and you can only fill out one. Starting Monday, March 15th, the games will begin, and every day you can vote for your favorite books on your Schoology class page. We'll have a little Google form for you to fill out, and you can vote as many times as you'd like. The winners of every head-to-head match advance to the next round to play again the next day. Once all the winners are decided, we will award prizes. We'll have some gift cards available for those who have made some correct predictions. So if you predict correctly how the votes stack on this bracket, you could win big. Lots of fun, free to play, and a great way to celebrate March Madness. My first book today to share with you is in our adventure section. It is called Zach's Lie. This story is about a character named Jack. Jack's life changes forever the night that men in masks come into his family's home. They break in, they threaten Jack and his family, they take a whole bunch of stuff, they wreck things in there.
Kenner, to the office, please. Kenner, to the office.
And Jack discovers the reason these men have come into the home is that his dad has been arrested for drug trafficking, moving drugs, illegally all over the place. Well, Jack, his mom, and his sister are then forced to enter the witness protection program. They have to be moved to a safe location, they have to change their identities, and Jack has to change his name to Zach. They move to a small town in Nevada. It's basically in the middle of nowhere, and he's got to start his life all over again. Unbelievable thing for a kid to have to do. This story in and of itself would be enough, right? You're uprooted from your life. You have to go and live a whole new one. You can't tell anyone where you're from. You can't tell them what your life was like beforehand. You've got to get used to a whole new name. And then just as things are starting to feel a little bit normal-ish, danger and adventure awaits his family again. This book is an edge-of-your-seat read by Roland Smith. If you've read any of his others, you know that that's the case. And I hope that you'll try Zach Sly. A Good Kind of Trouble by Lisa Moore Ramey is a wonderful, really relevant to today book, based on a lot of current event kinds of situations. This is about a 12-year-old girl named Shayla who has really been quite the rule follower. She's a girl who doesn't want to cause any trouble at school or at home. But her older sister, Hannah, has been involved in the Black Lives Matter movement. And for Shay, she doesn't really think it's for her. She appreciates and respects that Hannah's been a part of it. It doesn't really feel like her, and so she hasn't done anything with it. But she experiences a pretty powerful protest. And when she does, she decides that maybe she would like to get involved as well. As part of that, she decides to wear an armband to school in support of the Black Lives Movement. And when she does, soon everybody's taking sides on the movement. And she is kind of given an ultimatum. Shay realizes she has taken a stand. She's afraid to do the wrong thing. She's afraid to get in trouble. She's also, though, even scared to do the right thing. And she's never been in a situation like this before. What do you do when you know the right thing to do, but it's a really scary thing? And how do you keep yourself from feeling like getting in trouble might be exactly that? A Good Kind of Trouble. Try out this fantastic book in realistic fiction. This cover is absolutely fantastic and so gross. Science fiction story called Infestation by Timothy Bradley. Andy is sent to a reclamation school, which is supposed to be for boys who need to, kind of get their lives back on track. Andy's gotten himself in so much trouble that he's gone to the school to get reformed. He's supposed to go there to be redisciplined, and it's a place to get his life back on track, I guess. Well, he's sent there. He's expecting bad food. He's expecting mean instructors who are more like drill sergeants. He's expecting to be bullied. All of that happens. What he doesn't expect is these very large and aggressive ants. He is trapped in the school with these bugs that are the size of humans. They have pinchers that can cut steel. These are obviously no ordinary size bugs. They have been created in a lab, and this is the science fiction aspect. And Andy has to figure out a way to save himself and the surviving boys of the school from the nightmare of being a part of this building. If you like a book that has lots of realistic elements, but also the parts of the story that are going to just absolutely blow your mind, this is a great story for you. It's gross. If you're a bug person, you're going to love this story too. If you're someone who doesn't love the creepy crawlies, you might want to skip this. Out of My Mind is one of my absolute favorites. If you've ever asked for a realistic fiction recommendation, I've probably already talked to you about it. But this is about Melody, who is not like most people you've met. She can't walk. She can't talk. She does have a photographic memory and can remember every detail of everything that she's ever experienced. She is smarter than most people. In fact, smarter than most of the adults that help her in her classroom. And yet no one really knows that because Melody has cerebral palsy, and because she can't communicate, no one understands how incredibly bright she is. She is, though, determined to let everyone know how much she knows. And thanks to a new technology, she may just have that chance. In this story, Melody is going to finally get the opportunity to communicate for the first time. She's going to get to talk in a way and let people know how bright she is. This is an unbelievably unforgettable story. This is one of those books where you read it and you will not forget it because it sits in your heart and your mind for months and years afterwards. Sharon Draper is one of my favorite realistic fiction authors, and this is by far my favorite book of hers. Guardians of Ga'Hoole, The Capture is book number 1 by Catherine Lasky. If you're a fantasy reader and you're looking for a different series to try out, this is just a series about the fight between good and evil. If you like books with adventure and suspense and heart, this could be your next read. Soren is our main character, born in the forest of Tyto. This is a kingdom where the barn owls live. However, evil lurks in the owl world, and this evil is threatening to shatter Tyto's peace and change the course of Soren's life forever. When Soren in the story is captured and taken to this dark canyon, even though it's called an orphanage, Soren believes it's something far worse than that. He and his friend Gylfi know that the only way out of this place is up. And that sounds easy for owls, right? However, they don't know how to fly. They've never done it before. So to escape, they're going to have to do something they've never done. And with the help of 2 new friends that they meet, Twilight and Digger, these 4 owls band together and begin a magical journey. This is the first book in what, as you can see from the picture here, a lengthy series about what really becomes a family of friend owls. And again, the good, the evil, who can you trust and who can you not? Catherine Lasky writes the very first book in the series, and those who have read these books absolutely love them. My last one to share today is one that many have read and reread, but if you haven't yet, I would recommend the graphic novel New Kid by Jerry Craft. This one's been an award nominee and winner, and it's the story of those who especially have been new, whether you've been just new to a building, like many of you here as 6th graders, or new to a school, new to a town. Even if you haven't had that feeling before, you will relate to this character. This is about a kid starting over at a new school. It's a school that's not very diverse. So, most everybody kind of looks the same, acts the same, has a lot in common with each other. But our 7th grader, Jordan, who's the main character, is struggling to fit in because he feels pretty different. Let's take a look at the trailer for a little more info.
New Kid is the story of Jordan Banks, a future cartoonist. But his mom refuses to send him to the art school of his dreams. And now that everything is new, it will be even harder for him to fit in. New school, the prestigious Riverdale Academy Day, aka RAD. A nice school, a really, really, really nice school. New friends, like Liam. Underneath his pink shirt is a heart of gold. He's been at RAD since kindergarten. And fellow new kid, Drew, math whiz, who's also looking to fit in. Can Jordan survive being one of the few kids of color while keeping his neighborhood friends and staying true to himself? See for yourself in New Kid.
Like always, I hope that something I shared today sparks an interest for you, and that when you come down, either as a class or on your own, you'll find something that you want to read or check out. Remember that you can always place something on hold if you're reading something now. We want to help you find something good to read. So even if one of these is not what you'd like to check out this time, we are happy to help you find something when you pop down to the library. In the meantime, happy reading, and I will see you soon.